and welcome to a special edition of Rowing Tidbits, where we're going to talk about how to watch rowing in the Olympics. We're going to do a quick overview of what the Olympic events are for rowing, as well as how to actually watch it. So let's jump right in. There's two types of rowing in the Olympics. There is sweep and sculling rowing. In sweep rowing, each athlete has one oar, and there's either a coxswain in the 8 event or it's uncoxed in the straight 4 event. In sculling, that is the majority of the events, each athlete has 2 oars. So there are different types of boats. As you can see from the pictures, they're very different in how they propel the boats forward. The sweep oars are much larger and the sculling oars are much smaller, but each athlete still has their portion of the boat. These are the 6 types of boats that they use in the Olympics. There are more types of boats in the world, but these are the ones that they've chosen for the Olympics. One cool thing about this Olympics and the previous Olympics is there's the exact same number of athletes, of men and women. This is only the second time in rowing history this has ever happened. The last Olympics was the only other one where it's been equal. So, you'll see designations in here of X, minus, and plus. Plus means that there's a coxswain, so that means there's another person in there motivating the crew and steering. In the Olympics, the only event that has a coxswain is the 8, so it's a very prestigious spot. There are only 14 coxswains in the world that get to do this and participate. For the other boats, the athletes steer it with foot steering, and it moves a rudder. They have to look over their shoulder to move it. So there are the ones with the X that designates that it is a sculling boat. So that means each athlete has 2 oars. So that would be a single, a double, and a quad. The ones with the minus means there's no coxswain, but they're a straight sweep boat. So that would be the pair and the 4. There are many distances that rowing races exist in the world, but in this particular Olympics and most Olympics, the distance raced is 2,000 meters or 2 kilometers. It is typically chunked out into 500-meter sections in the athlete's mind. There are larger buoys, as designated by the red ones in here, that signify where the 500-meter mark is. You might see them as the rowers are going down the course. There are also red buoys at the beginning that signify the breakage zone. So if an oar falls out or the hull breaks or something like that, then the crew can stop in the first 100 meters, and then they'll pull everyone back to the start and fix it. After that, just assume everything's working. Then the last, usually 250 meters, the buoys turn red again so that everyone knows that it's time to sprint. In the Olympics, they might sprint a little bit earlier, but that's where they typically sprint. So for this Olympics, which will be the last one where lightweights are a thing, there are actually 2 weight categories. There's the lightweight division and the open division, and only the lightweight double is in this Olympics. The breaking point is 130 pounds for women and 160 pounds for men, and that is per individual. No athlete may exceed that amount. So this table shows the advancement progression for the 2024 Olympics. It's maybe different in future or past Olympics, but this is what they're doing for this one. So every single event has heats and repechage. Sorry if I mispronounced that. As you can see in the far right, the number of total boats that they've selected from the entire world for each gender so it's the 8s, they're the fewest, and the singles there's the most of. So in the singles, they add a quarterfinal, and the semifinal, those numbers are the number of semifinals there are. So there's a lot of semifinals for the singles in particular, just because there's so many boats. But the 4s and quads and 8s don't have any semifinals. They just go straight to finals. So since I'm based in the United States, I wanted to put what U.S. boats qualified. The U.S. was very lucky and worked really hard to qualify for almost every single event in this Olympics. The only boats that didn't make it were the men's quad and the men's lightweight double. The women made it to every event. This is the schedule for finals, and this is in France time, are the days that they are occurring, but you can look up broadcast times at the link in the description. There are a couple of ways to watch this. The Peacock is the cheapest if you don't already have a subscription for cable service or anything. I don't know what the exact price is, but it's a streaming service, so it's the cheapest. You can log into that and then watch things live or on demand. And then you can also, if you have a television that has an antenna or cable, then you can watch things on NBC, but then it has to be when it's live and happening, which is usually the middle of the night if you're in the United States. So these boats are on these days for the finals. I've also seen some things on YouTube that were kind of like recaps of other events, so perhaps they will be putting recaps of some rowing events on YouTube, which is free, but it wasn't the whole thing. So hopefully you can find some of this to watch. It's pretty cool to be able to watch this in the Olympics. If after watching all of this on the Olympics it inspires you to try rowing and you've never done it before, you can look up boathousefinder.com. Not sponsored by them, they're just helpful. Or just Google local boathouses in your area where you can do a Learn to Row program, and then you can learn how to do this too. If you want to support our channel, we would really appreciate it if you check out our Etsy store, rowingtidbits.etsy.com. And you can get cool tools like this spacer tool and top nut wrench combo, as well as some other rowing gifts and things. Subscribe for more videos, and hope you have fun watching the Olympics!